Hey there, friends. We started a story last week, and I thought I'd just finish it up today. So last week we're in the middle of the story of how Jesus crossed the sea to come to an area called the area of the Gadarenes, the country of the Gadarenes. And there he met up with this man who was possessed by demons. And the demons have identified themselves as Legion. And we come into the conversation of Jesus with this man, with these demons. And that's where our story really begins. Now, there was nearby a herd of pigs that were grazing near the mountains. And the demons begged Jesus to send them into the pigs. And Jesus gave them permission. And immediately they went out of the man and into the pigs, who rushed violently down the slope into the sea and drowned. Now those that were keeping the pigs, seeing this, fled into the city and the country and told what they had seen and what had happened. And people came out of the city to where Jesus was, and others told them what had happened to the man and what had happened to the pigs. And seeing the man sitting there clothed in his right mind, they were afraid. And they begged Jesus to leave their region. And as Jesus was getting to the boat, the man who had been delivered of Legion, these demons, begged Jesus that he would be with Jesus. But Jesus said, no, go to your home and tell them the wonderful things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you. So the man went throughout the Decapolis and told what had happened to him, and all who heard it marveled. That's the end of this story. Now, the area of the Decapolis was 10 cities, Decapolis, and so there were 10 Greek cities where Greeks lived. And the herd of pigs was 2,000 in number, it says in Scripture. So it was a large number of pigs, which might give us some idea of how many demons were inside of this guy, a large number of demons. And when you see what happened to the pigs, it makes you wonder, what was it like for that man to have that kind of demonic energy operating inside of him for however long it had been? In the previous story, we saw how no one could bind him and no one could tame him, that this man had lost all of his humanity. Yet here, after this encounter with Jesus, when Jesus sent those demons out, he's clothed and in his right mind. After how long? Like, had he been out of his mind for so long? This story is so remarkable because it makes you wonder, what did we learn about the power of Jesus over the supernatural, over the demonic spirits in this story? What might this tell us about Jesus? All Jesus did was give them permission. What might it tell us about the relationship that Jesus has to these demons, that they're begging him not to send them out of the country, and then ask him to let them go into the pigs? And to what end? They just drown. So it might tell us something of the demonic energy, the power of that energy, but also the power that Jesus, the authority that he has over it. And the reaction of the people, right? The people that came from the city and the country, that came to Jesus and heard about what had happened to the man and what had happened to the pigs, and were afraid and asked Jesus to leave their region. And what do you learn about Jesus? That he just does so. He gets in the boat to leave. And yet the man that had been so impacted wants to be with Jesus, but Jesus says to him, no, go and tell what the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion upon you. It makes me wonder, what do we learn about Jesus that he says this to this man? Like, what else could Jesus have said? I mean, beyond, no, you can't come with me. And in saying this, what impact might this have had on the man at first? Like, such disappointment. And yet, what impact might it have had on him after the fact? Like, Jesus has sent him away and made him the first evangelist in that area, right? Suddenly, people are hearing about what God has done for this man and how he has had compassion upon him. What impact might that have had on the people? in those areas as this man who has not been able to be bound and could not be tamed for however many years is now sharing coherently the amazing works of God in his life. It makes me wonder, in the story we see this guy has experienced the amazing work of God and the compassion of God for him and is told to go and share it. What amazing works of God have you experienced? And how have you experienced God's compassion in his life? And how might God be calling you? And to whom might God be calling you to share it? Where can your story be heard? How, in this season where community is so difficult, can you create community to share what God has done for you? I wonder. You know, if you come back to the story, if you came back to the story and looked further in Scripture, you find that Jesus returns to this area, and then the people no longer are afraid, but welcome him and bring all their sick to him for him to heal them. God made a way among this people that hadn't heard for Jesus to come. And I know people wonder about those 2,000 pigs, and I just wonder if they were owned by the Romans and they were to feed the Romans. They certainly weren't to feed the Jewish. And if they were owned by the Romans, what impact did it have on the Romans to hear that because of this healing that they lost their pigs? How might that have impacted a group of Romans? How many places was this story told that it brought new blessings? I don't know. I would love to hear back from the stories you've told and how the Lord has ministered to others through you. Hey, thanks for listening.